Hey y'all, it's Reverend Joel of Presbyterian Church of Chestertown. I'm coming to you today on this Thursday for the regular weekly What I'm Reading segment we've been putting out. Hey elders, staff, and deacons, remember you've got a link to a SignUpGenius, and if you'd be willing to share what you're reading through these times to survive COVID, boy, we'd love to hear from you as well. Maybe you're reading something on Facebook, something fiction or nonfiction. Maybe you found a great article that was inspirational to you in some way. However and whatever you want to share with what I'm reading, just sign up on that SignUpGenius page and then send that video to me, and I'll post you out here instead of y'all having to look at my mug every week. But I thought this week would be an interesting one to share with you what I've been reading. I'm still the new guy around here, haven't been here very long at all. But when I came to you, the PNC shared with me a lot of things. And when I arrived here, the former pastors and leaders had shared with me some things as well. That's what I've been rereading. First, I got this at the Presbytery retreat. It's about our presbytery. And it shows me about the Hayloft Vacation Beach House that the presbytery has. Jill and I look forward to using that at some point. It talks about the Matthew 25 initiative and how congregations are signing up to be one of the Matthew 25 churches with 3 different emphases and inviting us to consider doing that in our future. And it also talks about some of our mission partnerships, especially with Guatemala, a country that's very near and dear to me. That's where I spent 4 weeks last summer on my sabbatical and in a Spanish immersion class. Beyond that, I'm reading what the PNC prepared for me. Charlie, Laney, and that whole team made me this awesome thick notebook, and it has some really cool stuff in it. It has financials to show me where we were. Y'all might remember I come from the business world, so I can read an income and expense sheet. I can read a balance sheet pretty quick, and it really helped me to see where y'all were as you closed last year. Y'all included in that the big mission study that you did in order to go through the time of transition. And it lifted up what I guess you might call this from the marketer in me, the SWOT analysis, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats analysis. So I really appreciate that, as well as the last 2 annual reports for 2018 and 2019. And then there are some interesting little inserts like some of the marketing brochures that y'all have used in the past to help people find their way here, or once they found their way here, to tell them more about us, about our children and youth ministry, about our memorial garden, and even former pledge cards that we've used, or notes from the treasurer about giving. And then this more recent, more beautiful highlight of our space and our people and our ministry. I'm grateful to see these. There are 2 other cool things in here I'll share with you. One was 5 different goals that the leadership came up with in this season. And I'm interested to hear those, and I was glad to hear them. And they are also broken down into what's the objective, how will we accomplish it, who was in charge of it. And here were the big 5. I'm sure that these have been shared with the wider congregation, but I just want to remind you of them again. One was to expand programs for all ages, children, youth, young adults, and mature adults. I think of this as groups. When we come together as a church, we come together to worship and to connect in groups, to serve in some way, either the church or God's kingdom beyond the church, and to give of our treasure. This one falls into that second. How are we connected to one another? How are we growing and getting to know ourselves, love each other, and love God better? And that often happens in groups, like youth group or the children's Sunday school. But where are the ones for adults? And this number 1 goal for this church before I arrived was to expand those groups. And I'm glad to see that. Number 2 was to market the church better, tell the world who we are and what we're doing. And then as people say yes to the invitation to get to know us better, develop a program to mentor them and welcome them into the body so that they feel like they are 100% a part of who we are and contributing from the day they walk in. I love that. And it includes simple things like signage and banners, as well as some of the online things that this COVID stuff has forced us to embrace. The third goal was broader involvement by the membership to spread the workload. In other words, the leaders of this church feel like they're carrying a lot of the load of the ministry of this church. And my guess is they would never complain about it. They feel like it's their duty and their job, and they love doing it. How do we get a wider expanse of the membership involved in all the things that make church happen? And that will be fun trying to implement with you. The fourth and fifth were tied together, and it was use of new technology in the church's activities and maintain the church's asset, staff building, maintenance, and stewardship. I've been playing with some technology like video editing software and social media posting tools, as well as a new kind of member database management tool behind the scenes, all playing with, but just tools technological tools that might help me and the staff and the leadership know where we are, know where you are, and how to reach out to one another and stay connected. One more thing that was in here is the 2016 pictorial directory. This is helping me in some ways. There are a lot of you in here that are still here, but there are faces in here that I don't think I've ever met. And then I'm sure there are people that I have met that aren't in here. And it's making me aware that whatever we do with technology and member directory, it's probably time to update. Beyond this cool binder, thick binder that the PNC made for me, one of the other things I'm reading is some of the stuff that Sarah, Allison, and John left for me. And I'm grateful for these as well. I won't share all of these with you, but these are great little tools. They're the things that your other pastors who aren't here anymore thought were important for me to know. And so I will read some of this and I'll process it and ask great questions of Caitlin or other staff members so I can understand why Allison or John or even Sarah thought these were important to leave behind for me to see. That's part of what I'm reading as we go through these COVID days, and I'm happy to share that with you. I wonder, elders, deacons, and other staff, remember you still have the opportunity to share with this church what you're reading. If you're beyond that circle and you got something fun to share, let me know. We can get you in on this fun as well. Well, I'm looking forward to being church with you again virtually by video this Sunday on YouTube. So look for that link to come out. And until then, until we are together again, blessing, laughter, and loving be yours.